Electric current occurs naturally on a massive, highly chaotic scale. Lightning forces tens of thousands of amperes through the air in a fraction of a second. But the devices we rely on daily, from battery-driven clocks to the processor in a computer, cannot operate on violent, unpredictable bursts of charge. They require a steady, continuous flow of electricity. In physics, steady current is defined mathematically. We look at a cross-section of a conductor and measure the net positive and negative charge flowing across it. Current is the ratio of that net charge to a time interval, evaluated as time tends to zero. That definition works perfectly on a macroscopic scale. But if you dive into the atomic structure of a standard copper wire, that smooth continuity disappears. What you find instead is an intensely vibrating lattice of heavy, positively charged ions, surrounded by a swarm of free-moving electrons. The reliable, steady current we measure with a multimeter is actually a statistical illusion. It completely masks the microscopic chaos happening inside the metal. At room temperature, thermal energy causes a single free electron to bounce off the lattice ions at roughly 200 meters per second. Because this high-speed motion is entirely random, every electron moving to the right is statistically canceled out by an electron moving to the left. The net directional flow of charge is exactly zero. A single cubic meter of copper contains roughly 10 to the 29th free electrons, all colliding and ricocheting in random directions. How does a system this vast and erratic organize into a highly predictable macroscopic current? To answer that, we will look past the macro-level rules discovered by George Simon Ohm in 1828. By deriving Ohm's law entirely from the absolute first principles of kinematics, we will prove that electrical resistance is not a fundamental force of nature. It is an emergent property born entirely out of microscopic collisions. Without an external electric field, an electron travels in straight lines between harsh collisions with fixed ions, bouncing in completely random directions. If you track all free electrons and calculate their average velocity, that randomness guarantees the sum equals zero. When an external electric field is applied, it exerts a continuous force. Instead of straight lines, the path curves into parabolic arcs, drifting opposite the field. The electron accelerates between impacts, equaling its negative charge times the electric field divided by mass. This acceleration doesn't cause the electron to speed up indefinitely. Every time it strikes a lattice ion, it loses its accumulated directional momentum, and its velocity resets to a random orientation. Because these collisions happen at random times, we have to establish a statistical average time interval between successive collisions for all electrons in the metal. This interval is called the relaxation time, denoted by the Greek letter tau. We average the standard kinematics equation for all electrons to zero out random thermal motion, substituting our acceleration. This gives the average drift velocity, negative charge times the electric field times relaxation time, divided by mass. Plugging real-world values into this equation for a typical copper wire, the average drift speed is an astonishingly slow 1.1 millimeters per second. This creates a paradox. If electrons take 15 minutes to travel a meter, how does a lamp turn on instantly? Because the electric field travels through the conductor at the speed of an electromagnetic wave, 300 million meters per second. Current isn't established by a single electron sprinting from the switch to the bulb. The near-instantaneous propagation of the electric field commands every slow-moving electron in the entire length of the wire to begin drifting simultaneously. To scale this microscopic drift up to macroscopic current, we define a cylindrical slice of wire with cross-sectional area A and a length equal to the distance an electron drifts in a given time interval. We account for the material itself by establishing the charge carrier density, the exact number of free electrons packed into one unit of volume. Multiplying the density, volume, and elementary charge gives the total charge moving through this slice. This defines total current. I equals NE area times drift velocity. Substituting our microscopic formula for drift velocity merges the wire's geometry with the electron's properties. We can isolate the behavior of the metal from the physical dimensions of the wire by dividing both sides by the area. This gives us current per unit area, defined formally as current density, denoted by J. Factoring out the specific shape and size of the conductor, we have isolated the pure mechanics of how electrical charge moves through a metallic lattice. Current density equals a cluster of microscopic variables multiplied by the electric field. Since electron density, charge, relaxation time, and mass are constants at a stable temperature, we compress them into a single material property called conductivity, represented by the Greek letter sigma. The resulting formula, current density equals conductivity times the electric field, is the exact vector equivalent of Ohm's law. Electrical resistance and its inverse, conductivity, are emergent mathematical consequences derived from an electron's mass, its charge, how densely the metal is packed, and how frequently those electrons crash into the atomic lattice. Because this derivation relies entirely on the density and relaxation time remaining constant, it reveals why Ohm's law is an empirical approximation rather than a universal rule of physics. A standard conductor's voltage and current are proportional, drawing a straight line. In a diode, this fails. The relationship depends on the voltage's sign, curving asymmetrically. In gallium arsenide, it gets more extreme. A single current hits multiple voltage states. The simple formula of V equals IR is powerful enough to wire a house or build basic circuits. But mastering modern electronics requires leaving that macroscopic stability behind and understanding the microscopic chaos where those simple rules break down.